Hey y'all, welcome to the 10 at 10 for November 7th of 2024. It's going to get hot today, so get excited. Starting out, y'all, we got Acer palmatum Firefall.
Yeah, Firefall, a great introduction of this lace leaf, kind of giving you a really nice color across the top. I know y'all were just kind of talking about this in a new podcast they were filming. Tim has some pretty big hopes for this thing, kind of thinking that it'll kind of push into the market where that Crimson Queen kind of exists and become a new standard.
Yeah, I think it's a little more heat tolerant than Crimson Queen. Gives the colors of Crimson Queen, so it kind of gives you everything you love about Crimson Queen, but more heat tolerant. I think Firefall could become an industry standard for a red weeping lace leaf. It's exceptionally great. It's got a great color, a good weeping habit. If you're looking for them, we've got some low graphs today. Firefall is a rock star.
Yeah, this is definitely one that y'all piqued my interest on. It's slowly kind of getting into the lace leaves myself. Really kind of noticing those subtle differences between all of them. And hey, you know, everybody is always looking for something that can handle a little bit more sun, a little bit more heat, and this thing is definitely going to bring that.
I know before we've offered a lot of high graphs on Firefall. This is one of the first times, maybe the second time we've offered a low graph. We've got a little bit larger set this time, so hopefully more people who are looking for Firefall can get it today. But I'm telling you, if you don't have one of these, this may be one of the best lace leaves ever introduced. And that sounds crazy, but this one, it's a fantastic red, great picked up colors, not just your typical maroon. And y'all, it performs well in the garden. So get you a Firefall today.
All right, guys, up next, we got a part of that ghost family. We got the old grandma ghost here, an awesome introduction from Talon Buckholz. Known for that classic ghost reticulation. This one's going to be a little bit more white. And right now you can see its fall display with really nice cherry reds. And yeah, you're getting that on a variegated tree, so that's pretty awesome.
I like how you described it as the old Grandma Ghost. Grandma Ghost is one of the OG members of the Ghost series. It had very prominent veins in the early spring where you see the green veins on the white leaf. This is an amazing plant. If you're collecting members of the Ghost series, we've been sold out of Grandma Ghost for a hot minute, and y'all, we're bringing it back today at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's when it goes live. And again, we've got a decent set of these. I'm excited to be able to start offering some of these trees in bigger sets. And it's weird for people to be able to offer bigger sets this time of the season, but you may have noticed, you know, Tuesday, we had purple curl, and I think they lasted for 2-3 minutes. And, you know, we're talking almost 100 purple curls. And, you know, we're trying to offer these things so that people can have a better opportunity at getting some of these rare plants. Grandma Ghost, an amazing selection by Talon Buckholz. To me, awesome selection. People need to have in their garden. I like using these reticulated selections when you give them a little bit of morning sun to peak up that white, but afternoon shade. That keeps that reticulation on the leaves longer throughout the summer, so it can really show what this tree was selected for.
Yeah, I just love that variety in the garden that the ghost types provide. And Grandma Ghost, I mean, it's going to be one where you're just going to want to put it right there, maybe next to something darker, maybe some of that black lace, kind of have that Talon Buckholz playing off of each other right there. And I mean, who doesn't love a reticulated variety of maple? Grandma Ghost, man, collect all 9 of those ghosts, and you know, you might be able to summon Talon Buckholz.
So I told you it was getting hot today. Guys, we're bringing back Acer Oliveranum Hot Sauce. This is a selection by Masio Shiano. He found the selection. We got to put the name of Hot Sauce on it. We got his blessing about that. And this is one of the most heat-tolerant red upright Japanese maples because it's got that Oliveranum hybrid in it, just like Hot Blonde. I know we released Hot Blonde and Hot Chicken last week. Y'all, today, we're releasing Hot Sauce.
Yeah, I mean, this one is definitely something that's really cool for me. You know, it's like red is like the red maple. That's the one everybody knows. You know, it's like what a lot of people that are getting started in maples are looking for. And I mean, to be able to bring something new into that kind of thing that everybody knows and kind of adding our own little twist here, adding that little bit of heat tolerance is awesome. And it just gets me excited about, you know, how far can we push these maples. And yeah, I mean, this is an awesome one that's going to hold that red for all season, and it's just a really cool tree.
Yeah, so we do have a larger specimen on these on eBay right now in the Maple Mafia. If you are looking for one larger specimen, If you do miss out today on these 1 gallons, we will have that available as well.
Yeah, I mean, this one is something that's awesome. You know, it's like collecting some seed on this thing, you know, get you all the Heat Seeker series, because I mean, there's such a diversity in that. And then whenever this thing starts to seed, I mean, we've seen cecilifolium types, we've seen heat tolerant reds, you know, really nice yellow colors. It's like there's so much genetic diversity in, you know, this little family of trees. It's just so exciting. And this is one, you know, you admire the nice fall colors, that picked up cherry red from that burgundy that it's going to have through most of the summertime. And I mean, this tree is one that you're not going to want to sleep on.
Get you one today. So we just talked about the hot sauce. Next, we're bringing you the hot tamale.
Yeah, I mean, this one is one that's going to be almost in that Coralinum group. You know, you're going to get really nice shrimp pinky colors coming from this during the springtime. Then it moves into a really nice kind of like blue-green kind of color during the summertime. Back into some really nice, you know, pinkish fall colors going on here.
I mean, I love hot tamale. I think it may possibly be one of the most heat tolerant of the Heat Seeker series. It's between it and Hot Blonde right now. Who knows what the future holds, though, with the Heat Seeker series. I'm sure we're going to keep developing more new and interesting olive random hybrids. This is one that, again, was selected by Masayoshi Ano, and he had a code name on it, and he told us, please put a name on it. We put the name Hot Tamale and then got his blessing for that name. And I'm telling you, this is a very heat tolerant selection. Leaves out in that spring with that pink red kind of color, and it is electric. I've had people growing this in full sun in Texas in a container, and that blows my mind because containers can't handle the same amount of heat as one in the ground. This is an awesome selection. I think you're going to love getting you a hot tamale.
Yeah, man. I also love, like, one thing I think we forget to mention is like how fast growing these trees are. I mean, we put a Hot Blonde in the ground this spring, and it probably has put off like 2.5 feet in each direction. And I mean, these things eat up the sun. They're going to grow a lot quicker in the sun. And I think that's just one of the coolest parts about them is this tree's going to be pretty big in a couple of years.
Yeah, I mean, the vigor on the Acer olive random hybrids are extraordinary, and they make beautiful trees in the garden. And they do prefer that more sunlight condition. If you put them in shade, they will be slower growing. So do keep that in mind.
Hot tamale. Don't miss your chance today.
Y'all, next up, we got Acer palmatum Judy Girl Broom. The last time we released Judy Girl Broom a set of them, it was one of our best days we ever had online. So I'm telling you, there's a lot of demand for this selection. It's a new selection by Billy Schwartz, one of his newest witches brooms. It has a more wider leaf than many other red witches brooms, at least out with that pink color in the spring. I mean, this is one of the most unique witches broom selections that I've grown.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just sitting here looking at this one, and you can see just the density of buds all over it. You know, almost reminiscent of something like Macawa. I know it doesn't have the same leaf shape, but just how cool this one is, how tight and dense it is, and how slow growing it is just so amazing. I also love that color transition that we get from springtime to summertime. You know, you get those really, really dark greens popping off, almost like a purpley color with that nice red stemming all the way through. I mean, it's pretty killer.
The bubbly leaves of this just add to that sort of cartoon-esque look. And I think that sort of gives you that Macawa kind of vibe as well. Judy Girl Broom, though, next level plant, named after Billy Schwartz's girlfriend. He took us to see the original broom. And, you know, it's this witch's broom that's growing right next to a power line, not too far from his place in Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Y'all, amazing selection. One of my favorite witch's brooms of all time. Judy Girl Broom, makes a great container plant, fits in small spaces. But I'm telling you, this is one you're going to love because it's not just your typical red. It gets that sort of red color in the spring, that pink red color. But then you get some of those kind of color that you'd almost get out of like a Kurohime, but on a witch's broom. You get some of that blue-green kind of color with some pink-red new growth across it. It's the next level witch's broom.
Yeah, I know. Tim and I were talking about the colors, you know, trying to pinpoint where this kind of fits in. I lean towards a little bit more of that Toroyama, kind of like at that late summer kind of Toroyama. And you can see those blues. I mean, the leaves on here are just amazing. Yeah, like Tim was saying, put it in that pot where you can get up real nice and close to it and take a look, because this is one that's going to be putting on a show all throughout the year.
And again, this is one that will sell out quickly, so do check out fast today. Next up, we've got Acer palmatum Miss Piggy.
Yeah, this is one, you know, it kind of threw me for a loop whenever I was just getting started, because, you know, you kind of build that basis of what a maple is supposed to look like, what a maple is, like the habit that it's, you know, why it's classified as a maple. And this one, it says, no, I'm not going to follow any of those rules. I'm going to have this crazy looking fasciated growth right here. I mean, you can just see all those buds stacked up on top of each other on that new growth. And I mean, this thing is so funky.
Yeah, it's got that Seca-like growth where you see all different buds coming out, not opposite. They're just every which way. And you can actually get some twisting on this. It looks like a pig's tail. And that's why this was selected by Dick Vandermatt and named Miss Piggy. It's really interesting. You see the twist in this particular specimen here. And then you see right here, normally you would have 2 buds coming out, 2 branches. And at this particular point, there's more than 10. So it's crazy, it's fun, it's exciting, and it's going to give you something interesting out there in the garden. As a specimen that'll get 6-8 foot in 10 years, it doesn't make a large tree, so it's something that you can really get up and appreciate the new growth and the intricacies of what makes this tree something different and something special.
Yeah, I'm like sitting here trying to think, how would I prune this thing? Because, I mean, there's just buds shooting out every way. I mean, I think it would get away from you pretty quick.
I want to see a bonsai done with it.
I definitely would love that. I mean, you could definitely get some crazy looking trunk systems going on. And like something I love about this one is sometimes it'll stretch out and get like an oblong branch. And it's just kind of like this thin, you know, oval shaped branch that just kind of shoots out. And it's just like, once that kind of matures and turns into, you know, a hardened off branch, it just looks so interesting.
I think this thing is funky to look at during the wintertime. I think that's a fun time to look at this because you can actually see the leaves fall off and then the branches are exposed. And that's when you really get to see how the buds and everything are on the branches on this tree. A very fun selection. And again, we've tried to offer this as much as we can this year because to us, this is a special selection. And, you know, we've got a decent set of these today. Take advantage of it.
Yeah, get your Miss Piggy today. Guys, next up, we got Carstons Winter Gold, also known as Carstons. It's a Pinus Mugo selection that is known for its yellow that gets slowly picked up during the wintertime.
Yeah, I love the mountain pines because they typically stay low and have this sort of mounding-like effect. And then they get a little more conical as time goes on. It gives a fun kind of low-growing evergreen for the landscape. And then on top of that, it's not just evergreen, you get the yellow that's just spectacular during the winter.
Yeah, I mean, the first time I saw a large specimen, Buckholtz Nursery, he has really 2 nice ones that I saw. And, I mean, just such a nice shape. I think he had done a little bit of pruning on them to make them more kind of upright. But, I mean, just yellow on top, kind of moving down from that yellow to more of a lime green at the bottom. And, I mean, I would almost compare this color to something that we put on the last time where we had that Chief Joseph. These are kind of similar in color and similar in habit whenever they pick up during the wintertime. I mean,
yeah, and Carstons Winter Gold, it's more, you know, green yellow during the spring and the summer. So it's not just green during those times of the year. You definitely get a brighter color than you do on many other pines, especially other Pinus Mugos. Y'all, we're bringing the heat on the conifers. This is the only conifer that's on the table today, but there's more in that email. So go check out our weekly email that you can sign up for on MrMaple.com. You should be getting an email or get one this morning that's got all the rest of the other 10 trees we're not talking about on the table. That's right, 20 get listed at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today on Mr. Maple, and there's some more conifers on there. So go to that secret list and check it out. Guys, I'm telling you, there's some heavy hitters.
Maybe a variegated white pine? Who knows? Guys, next up we got Hydrangea Corophaea, Pee-wee.
Yeah, this is a dwarf oak leaf selection of a Hydrangea Corophaea. It stays more dense and compact than other oak leaf selections. I like the oak leaves, the Hydrangea Corophaea, because they really give this unique interest with the foliage. You get that leaf that reminds you of an oak tree that typically gives you some really good fall color.
Yeah, I mean, my girlfriend and I have this joke where every tree we see on the landscape is an oak leaf hydrangea, and I mean, we can have one of these at the house for her to actually admire and figure out what it looks like. But this thing is just so nice. It's going to give you that fall color that you see right now, the nice burgundy color, and you're going to get some nice early blooms on this one. So you're going to prolong that blooming season and just enjoy this thing throughout the year. I love the foliage on this thing. It really busts up the landscape, giving you something different. You know, you have that nice foliage interest with the bloom interest, and get back into that fall interest as well.
That early blooming is a great characteristic of this. And you get this really nice elongated bloom on Hydrangea Corophaea. You know, and typically the leaves are green. You're starting to see some of the fall color now. This is amazing, next level hydrangea. I think the Hydrangea Corophaea, to me, they're kind of like one of those more sophisticated hydrangeas, and they really go well in that Japanese maple garden.
Yeah, I know. And this one is going to be super slow growing, 4 foot in 10 years. So, you know, it's going to be really easily manageable. And I mean, who doesn't love a nice big hydrangea bloom?
Guys, don't sleep on this one on the 10 at 10. I know we've got some heavy hitters today. This is Acer palmatum Burgundy Lime.
Yeah, I mean, this one has some awesome burgundy colors with a heavily dissected Matsumuri style leaf. And it goes into this really nice orangey red fall color. Something I like about this one is just kind of that gradient blushing change that it has, moving from, you know, kind of that burgundy into a lime during the summer, and then kind of picking back up into a darker color during the fall time. This is one I really enjoy.
The lime on this just glows. And that's, to me, what makes this selection stand out from other trees that may sort of fade to like a green. This one doesn't in a very pleasing way. Check out some of our photos on MrMaple so you can kind of understand what we're actually saying by that. But I'm telling you, this is a crowd pleaser. This is a customer favorite when they see it. So check this one out because it is spectacular. This is brought to us by Vermeulen's and Sons Nursery, the same people that brought us Red Feathers and Burgundy Lace. And that's where they get that name of Burgundy Lime, because you get some of those burgundy colors, but that lime on this selection just glows and brings that little bit something extra to this tree that you don't find on other Japanese maples. So again, Burgundy Lime, make sure you get this one today. It's one we don't offer that frequently, but today we're dropping it, and I'm telling you, it's not going to last long either.
All right, guys. Last but not least, we got Acer palmatum Radiant.
Y'all, the radiance we have at the Buckholtz farm, they're showing some just spectacular variegation. You see a lot of variegation all across the leaves. You just see a lot of green flecking in the white, which is outstanding. I'm really excited to be able to offer these today because these are some of the best variegated radiants I think I've seen. You know, this is one that if you do get a greener one, you're going to need to do that promote the variegation video of how to promote variegation in a Rita Nishiki style Japanese maples. We did a whole video about that. You can actually promote more variegation, but I'm telling you, this is some of the best variegation I've ever seen on Radiant, and it is just a simply stunning variegated Japanese maple.
Yeah, I love just like the subtle differences in variegation. I mean, you know, I was just working on a video talking about Uzu Nishiki, and then I'm looking at this Radiant right here, and it's like, yeah, they both have that speckled variegation, but this one just kind of reminds me almost of that Ukigumo kind of variegation, and you're getting that consistently. You know, that pruning for variegation is so important whenever it comes to trees like this, though, so that's something you can't sleep on. And then make sure you're putting this in a good location to really show off that variegation as well. You know, you want that early morning sun, late day shade to get that best color. And I mean, this thing is going to pick up into some nice yellows as well as we go into the fall time.
Yeah, you're going to get the best growth by doing that. I mean, and also just avoid heavy amounts of fertilizer. If you put too much fertilizer on a selection like this, you're going to promote more green branches. And this is just a delicious looking Japanese maple. I mean, it is. It looks crazy. It's variegated. It's extremely variegated. And you can get some crazy pinks on this in the early spring. I haven't seen radiance this good. And I'm super excited to be offering these from our Buckholz farm.
Yeah, it's definitely one that, you know, is just so amazing. Every leaf is different, and I think that's one of the beautiful things about this one. You know, they do it right at Buckholz Nursery.
Y'all, thank y'all for jumping in today. Make sure you check out very quickly today. There's a bunch of these items that are going to sell out really quickly. And also check your email if you want to get prepared ahead of time. But again, these lists today, that's Thursday, at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I thank y'all so much. We appreciate y'all for joining in. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.